Well, our headline title news today would normally spark disaster in a head coach story because our director of football has sold our top scoring striker, but he has commanded the biggest fee in the league this season. And whisper it quietly with deadline day still to go, he's actually replaced him pretty well. I'm starting to think the AI director of football might actually be competent this year. Yes, hello, and welcome along to part 10 of the head coach with me, Daniel. The FM24 edition of this save had risked going off the rails at points during the last month, and in other years it may well have done, given what's happened. However, our director of football is showing promising signs, and at the moment, I'm encouraged by what he's done. If you're looking forward to finding out what he's been busy doing and what he's going to do for the last 16 hours of this transfer window, then please do put a thumbs up on the video. We'll also be facing high-flying FC Osaka with whatever squad we've got left after the window closes today. But a quick reminder first before we go and look at all that transfer news that we will be back as normal with our new season transfer special at Southend United tomorrow. One I'm in charge of in our One Club story, so make sure you keep your eyes peeled for that. And we did have a little special top 3 video earlier with some save ideas for the full release if you've not yet started your main save. But let's go and crack on with transfers because, of course, the title news is a big headline, and normally it is a big problem in the head coach. Star players being sold for nominal fees and not being replaced sensibly. Well, long gone are those days by the looks of it, because if we go over to the transfer centre, I'm pretty impressed, I've got to be honest with you. We have had the big sale and the only sale of the window so far, which was Charles Nduka, who has gone to a club near the top of the second tier. We can't really begrudge it. And to be fair to him, while he's been brilliant for us and he's a very good player, the director of football has got a pretty good fee for him. And talent-wise, he's not actually exceptional. We've just done very well with him. What I tried to do to judge whether this fee was good, because obviously in Japan I've got no real idea. I've seen that we're signing a lot of players for sort of 10, 20, 30 grand, but I was trying to look at how this deal compared to the league. So I went over to our J3 league where Nduka is still the top scorer, ironically. And I just had a look at the transfers for the year. And if you put them in order, Charles Nduka is 70 grand higher than anyone else in the division. And the next one down is a youngster with bigger potential. So we're actually talking about him being 50% bigger than any senior transfer in the league. So in terms of value for money, you have to argue the director of football has probably got it. What he's done since, though, compared to previous head coach saves I've had, is remarkable and maybe shines FM24 in a good light. Because one of the key things this year, and I've mentioned it a couple of times across streams, Discord, whatever, is that if you keep your squad planner up to date, the director of football really targets the weaknesses in there. And for this tactic, where we're playing one across the whole season, it's really working well. Because we've lost our advance forward, he was straight on it. We had weaknesses in a couple of other positions for depth and for starting talent. He's been straight on it. And despite the fact we've lost our top scorer, I am pretty confident we've now got a stronger squad than we had. So let's have a look at the 7 players that have come in. A few of them are youth players, so don't worry about that. But 3 first teamers who are going to make an impact. We start with Alto Inui. He is one of the young Japanese players. Not much potential, but we've mentioned it here. All the squads in Japan seem to have 40, 50 players, and the second teams are really strong. So I'm not going to begrudge it as long as he's doing the business with a senior team. Zakuya Kono is a similar one. Not much potential, but versatile. The third one, though, is our first senior addition, and he was the first signing after Charles Nduka left. Atsuki Suzuki from Yokohama is a lone 17-year-old striker. He's not quite as good as Nduka, but he's not meant to be. You'll see why in a minute. He's a very good young striker, though, and he adds a bit of squad depth for us. He's a good finisher. He's got good composure. He's determined. He's got a great personality, and he likes to place his shots. He's not actually featured much yet due to injuries and fatigue, but I like him, and he will get a few games before the end of the year. A very good replacement, even if we'd got no one else. But that's not the case, because the next man is a superstar. Yuzuke Hanya for £13,000 is basically as good as Charles Nduka. He's not quite as good and physical aerially, so maybe not quite as good from the crosses, but there's an advanced forward on a similar wage for less money Well, what? A 20th of the fee? He's an exceptional signing. To replace him for 5% of the money with this guy is remarkable. And I've no doubt that if we're still here, we could conceivably get to next summer and be getting the same sort of bids for this guy because he's very quick, he's a good finisher, he's composed, can also play on the right-hand side of midfield, which is a bonus for us. He's made 2 substitute appearances as we try and bed him in and get him up to speed. He's already got a goal and an assist. I mean, I'm really thrilled with that. I think that's clever business. To sell him for 300 grand and get him for 13 and a half, that's exceptional. We've got another youngster following that, Harute Shinazaki, who is a bit better than the other two, but is not going to make it. Then we've got another superstar coming in because he's used the leftover money to improve our squad yet further. Asahi Ibasuki is from Kashima on loan, and he is now a starting centre-half at this club. He's made 1 appearance off the bench last week, and he is now ready to go. Determination 20, brave, driven, 15 natural fitness. He's got stamina, strength, good marking, good positioning. He's a 17-year-old under-20 international, and he's brilliant. The director of football has done me an absolute joy this window, and Ibasuki will become a regular centre-half alongside our big man from Lanzarote, Lionel Ortiz. The final one is a young one at the moment, Rikuto Nakayama. Again, a bit of potential, and his attribute balance isn't bad, but not enough stamina for midfield, and I'm afraid not enough quality to make it. What is interesting, though, is he's actually picking and choosing from the youth team as well what the best players are to sell. It's a trend we saw in England the last couple of transfer windows, where young players are being moved on for financial fair play or to benefit the club. And I really liked what he's done here because he got an offer a couple of weeks ago for this guy, a centre-half who is very good, and he rejected it. 75 grand. He said, no, this kid's got big potential. I'm not selling him. Then a week later, he got offered 150 grand for this guy, who's not got as much potential or as much ability and a worse personality. And he went, yeah, I'll take it. So he could well be making 150 grand off a youth player, despite the fact he's kept the best one. So the decision making, and you can see that he's rejected offers for Akita below as well, and he slapped a 350 grand price tag on him, has really been good this year. It's been a case of, well, if we sell one striker, we can't sell the other for a nominal fee. And if we're going to sell a young player, it's got to be the right one for the club. We want to keep hold of our best. So while it's early days, and of course it could change, so far I'm incredibly optimistic and I'm really encouraged for this year's head coach. That might go wrong today though, because it is deadline day. There are 16 hours to go. We're going to get through them, see if there's any news. I'm hoping it'll be as quiet as the last one. And then after that, we'll have a look at the recent results that have virtually made us certain for promotion. And we'll get through to our game against FC Osaka. Back in a minute if there's any updates. Well, the first news of transfer deadline day is in, and for me, it's very clever business. One of the youth players who's got a bit of potential, but maybe not the best personality, and certainly not the highest potential, has been sold on for 125 grand with a couple of add-ons and a huge sell-on clause as well. Really pleased with that work from the director of football. I mean, he's making the club money and making me happy. He's basically a dream for the club at this point. Let's go and get through the rest of the day. No sign of anything else at the minute. I think this is going to be a quiet one, and so far, I would be thrilled with that. Well, a couple of quick interesting updates as the evening draws in, and the first of them relates to that young centre-half we talked about a minute ago with big potential, because Nagasaki have come back in, this time with nearly 100 grand as an upfront fee, and he's rejected it again. This is something I'm not used to seeing from directors of football in FM. The fact that they're doing this is really encouraging, and while he's not got the best personality for now, he's got huge potential and I'd like him to stay, certainly for the club point of view. He has also made an offer for a young player, not one that's going to affect the first team anytime soon, but again, good to see that he's going for people and he is keeping that B team squad strong as well. So overall, I'm delighted with the day and I'm very happy to let him go about his business. Well, I wonder if Hiroki Izumi has got enough resolve here. He has rejected another bid from Nagasaki for this youngster, now 115 grand up front. We must be getting to the point where it becomes a realistic deal. I wonder if we'll get that offer in time today. But I like the fact that at the very least, he's driving the price up. Let's see if there's another offer that might be accepted. But for now, he's really showing sensible management. Well, the price had been driven up, but the resolve has been broken for Izumi. Let's see what fee he got. after finding out this next youngster who has joined the club, another one for the backup team who's got a bit of potential but probably ain't going to make it. Let's have a look at this guy though. The next offer from Nagasaki was accepted. It is 140 grand with a 40% sell-on clause and add-on fees as well. I mean, you saw the level of the deals for the league. This is a huge transfer. You've got to be fair to him. This is a player who came in on a free last year. It's one of the ones he got last summer, I think. Has played a few games for the second team, and he sold him on for 140 grand and a big sell on. I mean, I'm going to be honest, I'm pretty happy with that deal. And the fact that he drove up the price 4 times first is something we've not seen before. 2 hours to go, and perhaps most crucially, no one has touched our first team, which for me now at this football club is important for immediate success. We've got to get the job done and get promotion, and losing a 16-year-old is not going to change that for now. Well, 90 minutes remaining and time for a director of football to get one more striker into the reserve team. He signed one with a bigger potential this time actually in Shogo Inada. Not a bad player, and again they've all got pretty good personalities, but they're not going to affect us this season, and that's why I'm not that worried about them. If he wants to get nominal fee youngsters in the reserves, good luck to him. The first team though has been left untouched, and I'm absolutely thrilled with that. Well, hang on a minute. The director of football has got busy with, an hour and 9 minutes to go. He makes an offer for Imabari's 34-year-old target forward, Toyofumi Sakano. 4-star ability. Holy smokes. I mean, he's not a target forward. He's got an 8 jumping reach. He's not 6 foot. But he's a good player. And I certainly wouldn't complain if we had him on loan. The director of football is spotting, I think, that there's an opportunity to get promotion here, and is perhaps trying to push it over the line. On the flip side of that, going the other way, Imabari have made an end of contract offer for WADA. Of course, you can see here that he didn't get a new deal done. He's not very good anyway. He's a centre half with a jumping reach of 5. He's 4th or 5th choice now, and I'm thrilled with that. So WADA moves on, we'll get a bit off the wage bill, and we might be about to get one more gem to finish off the window. Director of football, you were exceeding all of my expectations. Well, how about that? What a finish to the window with half an hour to go. He sold 2 young stars for basically 300 grand and masses of sell-on fees. And he's bought in a loan player that will cost us potentially 40 grand if we choose to make it permanent in the end. A 4-star ability striker, which now makes him the best at the club with Akita. I had been playing Fujioka up front. I had been ready to play Hanya up front. Well, maybe now I'm going to have to play this guy. But the strength in depth he's given me, the quality he's given me, and the fact that he's given me a basis to go on and say, yes, you're going to win the league this year. It's absolutely marvellous. I've got to be honest with you. Really pleased with that addition. Ugajin can welcome into the club. That's fantastic. The perfect day. Half an hour to go, and it has been thrilling. Well, the J-League transfer window has shut, and our director of football has excelled himself. I'm sorry, but this window has been remarkable. The young backup central defender who's out of favour is leaving on an end of contract deal in the winter. But for now, we have sold our star striker for 300 grand and 2 youngsters for about 150 each. Loads of sell-on clauses and other add-ons as well. And in his place, he has bought in a brilliant attacking player for 13 grand, 2 very good loan strikers to replace Nduka for the year, and he's even had time to go and find me a top centre-half on loan too. I just don't know what to say. I'm so surprised, impressed, encouraged, all of those things. We've got a great squad. We've got no excuse not to win the title now. Let's go and get ahead to Saturday. We'll have a look at our recent form, and then we'll go and head into our game against FC Osaka. What a window, though. Well, we return for our fitness tests ahead of another big game as we try and edge closer to the title. And the good news is we've got our first choice right back from injury, and he will be featuring today. Before we go and get into it, though, I've got to show you our form because it's actually been a little bit weird. The first game after you were last with me, we actually lost at home to Fukushima, a 2-1 defeat there, and we were comfortably beaten for the most part, albeit Yota Komi did score a goal late on, and he has been very good since stepping in. Basically, when Nduka was sold, it sort of correlated with his return to full fitness, so we put Fujioka through the middle and Komi out wide. And so far, that's been inseparable. I mean, he's got 4 goals and 4 assists in 10 appearances, and only 5 of those have been starts. And despite the fact we lost that game, we actually bounced back with 4 brilliant wins after. First away at Tottori by 4 goals to 0, an own goal followed by 2 for Nduka and 1 for Kusamoto. I should point out here as well that yes, we've lost Nduka, but our project is complete. Kusamoto is now an accomplished striker who can play advanced forward or poacher, and he's going to play them more this season now, so will probably become natural by the end of the year. He's also popped up with 4 goals, which is crucial. Against Nara at home was another comfortable win. 2 for Park, including a penalty. 1 for Fujioka, which basically wrapped the game up after 20 minutes. And then Kenzai Akita added a 4th in the second half before a 4-1 victory away at Iwaki. 2 for Akita this time after Najima and Komi had made things comfortable. At home to Ehime, none of the problems we had away from home against them. 1 for Komi, 1 for Akita, 1 for Park, and 1 for Kusamoto off the bench before a 5-3 win at Miyazaki. A very weird game and a poor defensive performance, though we were without Najim in this one. And we managed to get the result with Fujioka, Kusamoto, Hanya's first goal for the club, and an Akita brace yet again. Through to the fixtures we go with all of that done. The dynamics look good, the club atmosphere is good. We had a thing about the goalkeeping department, but we just said there's good young players and they were happy with that. So let's go and get through the tactical meeting. 3 changes recommended by the assistant. We'll definitely be making a 2 in defence. But let me show you the league table, because at the moment we are 19 points clear of Ehime in 3rd. It has become a 2-horse race for the title. It's going to be a relatively close one, I think. But let's look at the bigger picture here. There is no way we're not getting promoted. There are 15 games to go, or 16 for a couple of the sides below us, and they are 20 points behind. It's going to be an impossible job for them to catch us. And the good news with that is that we are going to be promoted. That will get us some stardom on our CV, and hopefully it will get us our first big move of the series, because in the second tier, this job might be a bit trickier. For now though, let's go and pick the team. Over 5,000 turning up this time. We're bringing the fans to FC Gifu, and today I want to bring the goals as well. Well, I think this lineup today sums up where we are pretty nicely, because if you have a look off the bench, we have got people who were first choice at the end of last season who can't even make the squad. Juan, the goalkeeper, is one of them. Fujitani is another, who was our first choice right back last year, can't now get on the bench. Himotsu signed in the winter and we thought he was going to end up our first choice centre half. Endo has done well to keep him out, but now he's going to be a sub with Ipazuki starting. And then Suzuki, who came in earlier in the window up front, is now behind Sakano, but to be fair, he's still building his fitness a bit in the 18, so that one's not so much of a worry. It's a shame we haven't got 2 better homegrown players, but aside from that, I am absolutely delighted with where we are. This is the 11 that we've gone for today. It's Eduardo Gomez in goal. Najim is back from injury at right back with Ugajin on the left. I have got the option to go for Endo there, but at home at least, I want the attacking threat as well. We've gone for Ibasuki alongside Ortiz in the middle, which on paper is incredibly strong. Kubota is over on the right wing and developing really well with regular football. He's quick, he's good on the ball, and he can cross it. I mean, he's a perfect right winger. We've got Park and Kita in the middle. Kita has now overtaken Sumi, who I'm afraid has picked up an injury. But it's not so much of an issue, because before Kita was also our cover on the right of midfield. Now we've got Hanya in, and Ishii's back to fitness. We've just got good squad depth everywhere, which is great. Komi's out on the left despite the additions up front, because I don't feel it's fair to drop him the way he's playing at the minute. And then Akita is alongside Fujioka as the new striking partnership. He's playing well, but he's not been consistently brilliant, so I feel he may be the one to drop out if anything. We've got Sakano, we've got Hanya waiting in the wings. We've even got Kusamoto as a striker now. So let's go and get into it. The big game against Osaka. And after all the optimism and excitement in this episode, I really hope we don't produce a rare off performance. Let's go and hope this game isn't a dud. We're going to try and win comfortably. Let's go and see if we can. Well, 3 changes for our visitors, who are in a bit of a playoff chase themselves now. They've got a couple of good foreign players, but they're Japanese ones again. A little bit experienced, a little bit over the hill, which perhaps is the biggest accomplishment from our director of football, to give us a younger, energetic side in this league. It seems to be a rare and difficult thing to do. As we go into the first half, we're playing our usual tactic. That left winger causing havoc at the moment, and so are set pieces. As Park puts one in, Ortiz loses out this time, but it's only as far as Kubota. Into the box on the left, good ball in. Fujioka can't get there, and it's scrambled away by Osaka, who now try and counter. A little bit of a kick clash this, weirdly. I know green v blue shouldn't be. It doesn't look ideal, as Komi makes a challenge, but it falls for Ishiiwatari. He gives it away. Ugajin back to Ibasuki. Again, my usual apologies for the pronunciations. I'm trying my best here. Ortiz gets the ball at centre half. Into Park, who's just been magnificent. Finds Fujioka up front. And you can see we're confident on the ball. We know when to switch it up. And Fujioka's in. Cuts back for Akita. The early goals are back. 4 minutes gone. The knee slide from Akita. And it's great that the director of football rejected offers for him, because if we'd lost both him and Nduka, we could have been in a bit of trouble, as on the right-hand side, Osaka looked to respond immediately. They're forced back by Komi, who does really well. And it's back to the centre half. Again, not going anywhere at the minute. They've managed to release Ndao here. It's wide to Sekido. And Ugajin perhaps is the slight weakness in this team, but he forces a switch. Tsunemori down the left. Najim being taken on. Only just back from injury and looked a bit rusty there. Tsunemori into the box again. Cut back. Can we get it? Keita nicks it. Well done. Got lucky with the first touch, but the second one's good. Komi's been released. He's got 2 options left. Akita finds Park. And Keita again. Fujioka. Back to Park. Chance to shoot. Turns on his right foot to Najim. He might. We've seen a couple of good goals from him. That one's over the bar. Really good football again. And even when we've got a good shape defensively and we look like we're dealing with pressure, we can still break away at such speed because there's always 5 in that attack. Even Keita joined in that time as the deep-lying playmaker. And with half an hour gone, it might only be 1-0. But it's been a really good display. They've offered nothing, and we've been able to dominate the match as Gomez gets it in goal. And you think of the odd game where you don't take chances, we've now got firepower on the bench too. Something we've not really had in his save before. As Gomez goes wide to Najim. He comes down the right, he's got options down the line. Kubota is one of them, and the amount of times he can pick it up and just run past the fullback is frightening. As Najim gives it to him again. We're patient, we're precise, we're composed in our build-up. We're very rarely giving away poor chances from these positions. I say that, we'll probably give it away now. As Ugajin gets it on the left. Again, look at the way we're spraying it about. They're afraid to press us because they know what we've got going forward. And that is the quality. Yota Komi, so unfortunate to get injured after his first game, but the director of football found a gem there. He's come in seamlessly, and the fact that we haven't missed Nduka is a huge credit to him. Fujioka sets up the first, Park sets up the second, and now Komi, unfortunately, has picked up a little knock. We'll see what that is, and we'll make the change at half-time if we need to. He's still trying to get in on the left here, though. He picks it up by the corner flag to Park. That's a penalty kick. Foul on Park, and he'll take the penalty himself. They're trying to play out from the back, and we are absolutely crucifying them on the break. As Park will step up, left-footed. So reliable normally. And it's another good penalty. Keeper goes the right way, but it was just placed well enough to get away with it. 14th goal of the season. 3-0 again. What a team we are. What a team to watch. The injury to Komi is a bruised ankle. I will rest him at half-time anyway, because why not? Gives us a chance to give a debut to one of the strikers. I'm really pleased with that performance. Fujioka will move out left. I think we'll go for... I've put the wrong player out on the left there. I think we're going to go for Hanya because he's younger, he's our own player, and he is a natural advance forward. So let's get him on. 3.5 star. It's like nothing's changed in the team. We've got so much quality everywhere. I'm really loving this. I don't often get to just enjoy the head coach because I'm so often worried about the director of football. I've built a team that's settled, that's playing attacking football, and the director of football has done everything to help me. We've got 25 to go. Fujioka is 1 yellow from a suspension, so I am managing him where I can. I've got Ishii I can bring on. I would like to get Sakano on, but it does mean I need to get someone out on the left, so Akita could do it. Not sure if Hanya can. He's not quite so good apparently, so what's Akita like out there? Not great. I think we will go Ishii for now then. We'll maybe rest Akita later on. We'll make another change in defence. Ugajin can come off for Endo. So I want him to get more comfortable at left back. And I'll probably actually bring Kusamoto on as a right back, ironically. Now he's trained as a striker. Najim's coming back from injury and I'll give him a few minutes break. But we'll get to the last 15 before we do that. Because we saw what happened in the last episode. We made the subs at 3-0 and we got pushed back a little towards the end of the game. So I want to be careful. Keita's got a free kick and they're looking for a lifeline. They get one here, it might bring the nerves out. Header away from Ortiz though. Back into Tsunemori, good header. And it's off the post from Shiroa. 3-1, they've got their goal. And it has been a problem at times keeping clean sheets. But to be fair, we've got a new look defence there. A first time starting for that centre-half. We're still doing a pretty decent job. Kubota's struggling a bit out wide, so I might need to make a change there. I've got some thinking to do, but if we concede again from this one, I might have to go back to the drawing board and start thinking about the points. As Taniguchi gets it at the back. Good challenge, Keita. Brilliant football to Hanya. Akita with a good first touch. An even better second one. Oh my word, that's incredible. What a move that is. It perfectly sums up the way I want to play. Winning the ball with the high press in midfield. As soon as they come over halfway, we hit them. The pass up to the striker is great. It's a clever touch. And then the first touch from Akita is brilliant. The finish exceptional. I'm a happy man. I'm going to give Kubota a few minutes rest. I know it's not ideal. I'll bring on Sakano. I'll put Hanya out to the right. And all I have to do with him really is just push him forward slightly there. Although it did say he can play right midfield okay. So I might just leave him like that. I don't know if there's any risk in putting him further forward though. So Sakano is on as the advance forward. We're also going to go for Kusamoto on for Najim. Just to protect him after his little injury. We've got 10 minutes to go. We're 4-1 up. And we're playing brilliant football. I mean, I don't know if you can tell this, and it probably doesn't make for great content, but I'm really enjoying this spell. We know the head coach is going to go wrong at some point. So when you get these rare, beautiful moments where the director of football gives you a good team, they're playing good attacking football, and you're dominating other opposition, you've got to enjoy it because they don't last too long. As Hanya gets down the right-hand side, Sakano making a run. Oh, the perfect days got better. Hanya has turned provider again. Sakano gets a goal on his debut. He's only been on 8 minutes, and a 34-year-old is still fit enough to get the acrobatic celebration out. 5-1 Gifu. We are going to win this title. Make no bones about it. Promotion is almost secured very early, and that was a wonderful performance. Let's go and have a look at the schedule for when we're next going to be back. It's very rare that both on and off the pitch, the head coach is going well at the same time. Well, to be fair here, I think promotion is all but inevitable now, given the fact that we've got this 20-point lead. So I think the only focus is going to be the title. And as a result, I think we'll come back twice near the end of the season. I'm going to try and get all the way to the start of November. Obviously, if there's big news in between or there's a sudden crisis, I'll come back. But Kagoshima is the big game. And given the fact there's a 9-point gap at the minute, and the fact that that's 5 games from the end, it could well be a title winning day too. So the plan is to come back at the start of November. Any news in the meantime will be back first. But if you did enjoy this one, a really good performance on the pitch, and to be fair, arguably an even better one from our director of football off it, then please do put a thumbs up on the video. Let me know if you're doing a director of football challenge or a head coach save. Have you had the same sort of thing from your director of football? Have you noticed the improvements from FM23? Or have I just got lucky at this club? Because we did mention that for this level, the director of football is rated really well. I'm hoping we can get a promotion and then maybe a big job move. We'll wait and see if that materialises at the end of the year. But first, we've got a title to win. So if you want to stay up to date and see if we can win the decider next time out, then please do subscribe and turn that notification bell on. There is a small chance, of course, that it could be wrapped up before then. And if so, we will return to come and see it. But for now, we will be back tomorrow morning with Southend before this one returns at the same time tomorrow. If you haven't seen it already, we had a little top 3 earlier today. Please do check that out up in the eye above. You can find all the key playlists there in addition to the Twitch channel and the football podcast too. But thank you very much for watching. Your support as always is appreciated. I'm sorry it's going well at Club 1. It's not always the case, but at the moment, I am loving life at FC Gifu.